Okay, this is a continuation of the profiling fixture that I'm trying to build, and I had a viewer who asked me if I could give more detail on the machining aspect as well as the visual, and so what I'm trying to do, I'm going to have to, I guess I'm going to have to make short videos to continue on in the progress of this profile fixture that I'm building for the TAG. I'm going to use the tool holder that I have on the top slide. I'm just looking for it. I thought I was ready. Oh, here. Yes. This is the tool holder that I built for the top slide on the TAG. So I'm gonna try and use this as part of this fixture that I'm making here. As you can see, it's just an ordinary tool holder with a dovetail in it, and what I have on the top slide to match the holder is this little block here. Okay, and that fits onto the end, the very front end of the top slide. So I'm using this as a gauge to producing another one of these on the main block, which is this block here. This is going to be the moving block on the profile fixture, and it's going to have a dovetail like this on in a certain position. So what I'm attempting to do is to locate, by using the holder and this dovetail, matching dovetail, I'm positioning it on the block, because I'm going to have to mill these two faces, this face here and this face, so that it produces a dovetail on this block, a matching dovetail. So what I've done at the moment is I'm attempting to find out the distance from this surface here, this top surface, down to the dovetail, the first one side of the dovetail, and I've already set it up and positioned it, and I'm just going to show you now how I did that. Over the period of the years that I worked, there were things like, if you can see this angle block, that was actually a punch that was either undersized or it wasn't the right configuration, but that there would actually be a punch in a die, and these were progression dies, or probably 6 or 7 progressions, and the strip would go in at one end and it would feed through, and it all would be blanked out and formed up on the 7th stage and drop down through a hole into a big bin. And they're the kind of tools that would produce or probably 150,000 on a run before it would need regrinding. So anyway, I acquired some of these. These are nice and square. They're all ground, nice and square. So I acquired some of these over a period of my working years, and so I use that as a little angle plate. I've got several more over in the shelf over there. So what I did was I clamped this block onto, first of all, I slid this holder onto the dovetail, the male dovetail, and positioned the block so that it was this face here, which would be the front face when it's feeding in, is parallel, is flush with this face. And so what I did was I positioned everything on there, and then I clamped this little male dovetail and then slid this off. And then after that I placed the whole unit on the little angle plate that I have here, and then I just used a center drill. It's a quarter, I think. I think it's a quarter. Might be, yeah. No, it's 3/16, 187. Anyway, I place that in there, and then of course comes along with the dial indicator stand. And I don't have a lot of measuring tools. I don't have any height gauges or anything. So anyway, I zeroed the center drill on the dial, and then I used this, a shaper a unit. I forget what they call it now. Shaper angle, shaper height gauge, shaper height gauge. Yeah, it's a Brown and Sharp. Nice tool, very handy. And so most of the time when I'm doing something like this, I'll incorporate this in with the measuring system. And I've got several of these adjustable parallels, and so between this and adjustable parallels or blocks, I can then measure within 1 or 2 thou. In this case it doesn't matter too much if it's not completely flush with this face. So then once I've zeroed and got it parallel and zeroed, I then take a reading on here and move this movable slide up and down until it reads a 0 at the same point, at the same height. Okay, then I lock it up, and then I raise the dial indicator up and zero onto the top surface there, which is higher, obviously. And so what I do is I know that the distance from there to there is 1 inch, exactly 1 inch. So what I do is I find a parallel, adjustable parallel, something like that, and I zero this top surface in, and then I place one of these adjustable parallels on the lower face of the shaper gauge, and 0. I move the adjustable parallels until they 0 on the dial indicator, which means that it's 0 there and 0 on the parallels. Then I'm able to measure the parallel and remove 1 thou from the actual overall measurement, and that tells me what the distance is from the very top of that center drill shank to the top surface here. So then that allows me to enter that into the CAD drawing that I will eventually produce with these dimensions, and then I can start working on the block and start machining, and the final thing will be a nice sliding fit on this female dovetail. So that will be the first part of the continuation of this project that I'm working on now. I probably left something out, but it's kind of difficult to explain things without humming and hawing and you know, making the project go slower. So I can't pause the camera. I don't know how to do that, so it'll have to be in little short videos. So I hope that was some help to anybody who's coming into the hobby or is learning a few things. It's not a perfect way to do it. There's other items that you could use which would give you far more accuracy, but for this particular job, 1 or 2 thou difference in measurements or heights or steps, it's not important. You can always manipulate things after you've got everything fitted, and so that's all I can tell you at the moment. These are if you haven't got any slip gauges or what was I going to say? Yeah, these are you can buy these fairly cheap, you know, on eBay, and sellers on eBay, and they're really a very handy and quite accurate tools to add to your toolkit. I forget now what I paid for this. I think I paid about $45, something like that, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's an extension piece that goes either on there, screws on there, screws on there, or screws on the top there for extension. So I'm sure there's other parts to them as well, but that's what came with the kit that I bought. It was a used item, but still in very, very good condition, been looked after. No rust on it, just a few little blemishes, and that's to be expected. So anyway, I'll call off now, and hope that you enjoy the video, and you're enthusiastic to see more as I progress, and I'll do my best to make it as interesting as I can. Thanks.